Hey guys, welcome back out to the garage. Today is an exciting day. It's the time we've all been waiting for. We're going to review the Xtool D1 20 watt series. We've been using it now for a couple months. We've got a couple hundred hours on it. It's put in some good work. And today we're going to go over all the stuff we've learned from it. The good, the bad, and the terrible in some cases. So let's jump into it. With the 20 watt series, we got 5 questions we want to answer. Is it powerful? Is it fast? Does it look cool? Does it sound like a beast? And 5, is it worth your money? So for number 1, is it powerful? Absolutely. This thing has a crazy amount of power. Back when we did the ComGrow Air Assist test, we were showing how thick of wood we could cut through, and this beast managed to cut through an inch-thick piece of plywood in a single pass with the Air Assist turned on. That's insane! Is it fast? Yes. When you're coming to engraving, this will do the same as the 10 watt series, so it can travel incredibly quickly. Where it really does better is just with the extra power, it can perform at faster speeds and still get the same job done, so you're going to save yourself some time there. Does it look cool? We'll look at it. I think it speaks for itself. This red and this gold together, awesome. Does it sound like a beast? No. That's the only one where we're going to say no because it's very quiet. Besides this fan being a little bit louder than the previous model, it's really not that loud. And if anything, the fan only runs when the laser's actually working. So when it's just idle, waiting for you to do something, it's actually much quieter. And is it worth your money? Well, for this, we're going to have to dive in a little bit deeper and find out the pros and the cons of this series. So let's look at what the common items are between the 20 watt and the 10 watt series. They both have the same frame, different color, but they have the same dimensions. The 10 watt can actually cut a little bit bigger of an area than the 20 watt because the module itself is smaller. And this one, because of the size of it, you lose how much you have on, I guess, your X or Y axis, however you want to call it, because this distance here at the front off of that gantry bar is just larger, so you lose probably 10 to 15 mils off of what the 10 watt could do. Side to side, similarly again, you're going to lose a little bit of distance off here because it stops here, and because of the thickness of it, we're stuck there. I've been able to achieve with this, my largest cut that will accurately continue to do it without tapping out anywhere is about 425 millimeters by about 385 millimeters. I haven't been able to go any larger than that without, really pushing it to hitting the edges or hitting some fail-safes. Both of them do come with the risers pack, so you have that in common. They both have Bluetooth enabled, so you can do it wirelessly. They both have the same PCB board, and all the chips are all the same, so there's no differences there. It's just pretty much the module and the paint that are going to be different in terms of what comes out of the box. The speeds, again, are the same. It's the power. Obviously, the 20 watt is double the power on the output, and that makes a huge difference. Now for the bad part. The 20 watt, I have had a few software issues when I use it with LaserBox Basic. When I took the images that I have on my desktop from my phone camera, they're PNG files, and I drag and drop those into LaserBox Basic, I can actually cut those no problem on the 10 watt series. With this 20 watt series though, it gets halfway through engraving and it just taps out. It just stops. It doesn't have any fault. The lights don't go red. It just stops. And the fan continues to run as if the laser thinks it's working, but whatever reason, I have never been able to get it to actually complete an image. I have to first take my images into a third-party software like Inkscape, make sure that everything in there is great, and then I save it as an SVG file. And from there, it'll work all right. But there's an extra layer there now to getting images ready rather than just being able to drag and drop them in there and be able to go right away. A little bit of an annoyance. So that's one thing that was a little bit different. The second part is in LaserBox Basic again, when you're trying to select the cut mode for this series, it doesn't seem to work very well. I have been able to work around this by manually setting the power and speed that I want in the engraving mode, and since the engraving mode allows you to set the speed all the way down to 1, it's not that big of a deal. It's just you can't see that visual indicator anymore of what's cutting and what's engraving, and you just have to kind of know which layers you have different speeds and power set for. Not a huge issue for what I'm doing, but might be for you, so just something to be aware of. Now what's different? This 20 watt Pro has limit switches. You might be able to see them in the video, but there's one right up here and one over here. And what they are going to do is when the laser gets too close to a side, it'll actually limit it from hitting the edges. Now, this only works if you actually plug the wires in correctly, something that I have not done, so my limit switches are not actually doing anything, but they are there. It's an option you can use. This model also has a flame detection. Again, I'm not sure how well that works because I've never seen it actually trigger, and if we go back to that Comgrow Air Assist video again, we had some pretty massive flames when we were trying to cut through that wood with the full power of the laser, and it never triggered. So I'm not sure if it's just because the other sensors aren't hooked up, if the flame one's not working, but I've never seen that one work either. Has never caused that much of an issue for me. A little bit of cleanup after that episode, but other than that, the laser does come with a few extra little safety features that the 10 watt did not have. The 20 watt and the 10 watt commonalities again, they both support all the accessories. So if you want to get the honeycomb cutting grid, if you want the air assist, if you want the enclosure, if you want the extension, all the risers that are on them, everything there is compatible with both models, so don't worry about picking one over the other. If you're looking at the accessories, they're always compatible with both models, so nothing to worry about there. So why would you buy the 20 watt over the 10 watt? Well, it depends on what you're doing. If you guys are going to be doing a product stocking or you're doing an online store where you might have a high demand, you're going to want to probably go with the 20 watt so that you can get more product made faster. If you're just going to be an enthusiast or a hobbyist at home doing some things on your own, or maybe you want to start your company as a print-on-demand company where you make things as they've been ordered, I would suggest going with the 10 watt, save yourself some bucks, because really the only difference you're going to see between this model and the 10 watt is that this one can produce your products slightly faster. And I say slightly, it depends on what you're doing. If you're doing some cutting jobs, it will be a little bit faster. If you're doing engraving, it'll be significantly faster. But all this is really going to do is the extra power is going to allow you to continue to work at a higher speed, where the 10 watt is going to have to either do 2 or 3 passes to get the same job done. But at the end of the day, the 10 watt has all the same accessories, has all the same ability. It's just a little bit slower when it comes to how many passes you're going to have to take. And so if you don't need to be putting out lots of product all the time, save yourself the extra money. If you ever switch, you can always upgrade just the module. So you can buy just this piece, and it's compatible with the other frame. Everything's the same, and you'll be good to go. But to start off, you can dip in a 10 watt and then upgrade later. Okay, guys, that was it. Thanks for watching this review. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And while you're at it, check out these other videos just over here. Until next time, see ya.